right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. I am here live with Patris, Angel, or is it Angel? Because I want to say Angel because of my
It's
Spanish.
usually I say Angel because I'm here in the UK, but
Yeah.
any
Okay.
Herbert is nice
Patris
too.
Angel, it is. Then I want to welcome you to the show and thank you for being here. We're going to talk about your work, your journey, and also one of my favorite topics, fascinating topic of light language and light codes. I find it really fascinating. So, yeah, thank you for being here. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me here. I'm always exciting to share what I'm doing, and it's a great opportunity. Very grateful and very excited.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. So, as with everyone that I talk with, I'm really curious about your own personal journey of how you ended up doing this spiritual work.
Okay, so I started as an artist, and I like to see myself. Actually, for many years, I said, "Well, I'm a coach. I'm the founder of Angel Star Coaching." But now I present myself. I'd like to introduce myself as saying I'm an artist who has created, who has founding a coaching business, and so I started wanting to be on the stage in any case. So as an actress, then stage director, writer, more than anything singer, because always my voice has interested people or attracted people. Many times in my childhood I was bullied or something, but whenever I was singing, everybody was like, ah. So I thought
Um,
I need to do something with that.
mm,
So I moved to Venice to study the Baroque opera, the 18th century opera. And there I held many concerts before, the crisis struck Venice. And then the tourism totally was totally different. Instead of very people who wanted, the music, the museums, it was kind of a mass tourism that just wanted to walk around and with the sandwich and the ice cream and do nothing. So at that point I said, wow, I need to do something more to earn money. And I've always been, especially as an actress, I've always been fascinated by how the mind is working.
mm,
And I've always had this vision that we are so much more than we think we are, and our mind is so much more too. I'm a massive science fiction fan, and this impacts my work a lot because um I in 2006 I had this crazy intuition that one could actually live like a real life Jedi, like in Star Wars. And a few months after, I actually discovered that it was kind of a word phenomenon. And I started to see this as maybe a way to help humankind evolve and help them actually experiment around how our mind can work better. The other passion I have is the Vulcan culture in Star Trek. And it's the same. It's like the idea of if we want peace in our world, we need to find peace inside of us. So again, working on our mind. So mindfulness. And I started to really go into this type of work. I've I've always been very drawn to spirituality, so Catholic Church in my tradition, but then I started a lot, with martial arts, so Tai Chi, Shaolin Kung Fu. So I got in touch with Buddhism and Taoism. So all of that put together, it it really gave me a sense that we are amazing beings of light. We are like, we are children of God. And my passion is really to help people see themselves as this, because very often it's like, well, we beat ourselves up. And in doing that, we often beat others up because we judge. And
mhm,
instead of having this compassion that is in most of the spiritual path. Like, it's obviously in Christian, it's in Buddhism, and um, that type of openness, if I can say that, opened the door to always more research and exploration. And when I moved to the UK, even actually, um, this connection with
Mhm.
multidimensional beings, and so like language and like codes.
Yeah. So I'm really curious to hear about your experience with multidimensionality because I know for myself, well, many years ago, and we talked about this before, during my Kundalini awakening, I had this direct experience of like, oh, there are other dimensions and there's other stuff going on in places that we can't necessarily see unless you're able to actually tap into it and go there. And so yeah, I'm curious about your experience. Like, how did you just what was your personal discovery? Because I feel like it's not something that I mean, I think children, of course, have access to that, and then we lose it, you know? The veils kind of descend, and we stop seeing the, spiritual beings or the fairies and, all of that. Um, so yeah, how did you encounter it?
So I think my first real big connection with the spiritual world, let's put it that way,
Mhm,
is when I was a teenager. I really experiment after a big loss. I experimented the Holy Spirit, really the fire of the Holy Spirit, the love, and that really directed me towards wanting more of that, and wanting to share and to receive and to give always more. So when I started, after in Venice, I started that path of meditation and martial arts.
mhm,
And when I came here in the UK, it's nothing happens by accident, really, because I found a house that is on a ley line. And 5 minutes walk from this house, there is a meditation center. And they offered yoga, they offered Kundalini yoga also, and a different type of meditation, because Buddhist meditation is either the mantra like Mani Padme Hum, or the what they call Shine. It's really the observing the mind. It's mindfulness.
mhm,
The meditation I experienced here was more of an inner journey, like a guided meditation. Very often we were led either under a big tree or inside of a rose quartz, sorry, a rose quartz crystal,
mm,
and there was this energy, and at times we could feel guides around us, angels, and it was so healing.
mm,
And at a certain point, this was, I believe, in 2016, yes. There was, in this place, there was a workshop about channeling Archangel Michael. And at that time, I was like, no, no, channeling is too weird. I'm not doing that.
mm,
But I was, I was keeping on thinking of it. And at
mhm,
a certain point, I said, okay, I'm still thinking of it. So it's there's something, I will do it.
mm,
So I called the center and I said, yeah, I want to sign up. And the center said, well, we're sorry, but it's sold out, but we could add you to a waiting list. And I said, yeah, why not? And the day before, someone canceled and I got on the workshop.
uh-huh, uh-huh,
And I actually don't really remember how, the instructor um, put us in a state, or not put us in a state, but help us facilitated that. But at the end of the workshop, she just said, well, now each and every one of you, if you want, just channel something. It can just be a word, it can be a gesture, it can be a little sentence or phrase or something. And most people did a few words. I channeled for 10 minutes. And everyone was like, what? And the instructor said, well, you did that before. And said, no, it's the first time. I'm like,
yeah. Yeah.
So, after that, I kind of explored more very carefully, always more with Archangel Michael, because he's really keeping everyone very safe at spiritual level. So I trusted that it was a connection that was beneficial.
Mm,
And I kind of trained in connecting a bit more. And then I went on workshop with a lady who is, she's, I see her like kind of my mentor for light language. um she has a very very deep connection, and she draws light code and she speaks light language. And that was back in 2018, where it was not so out there.
yeah.
And during one of a workshop, the same at the end, it was like, well, if whoever is here wants to speak that language, just go for it. And it came out. It just came out. And it's same, it was the first time, and I felt it so liberating, and so, and the energy, the frequency was so high. And in the same way, people said, well, that's a gift, you need to cultivate it and all. So I did that too. And at that time, I was really crap at drawing, so it was really only the voice, again the voice.
Mhm.
And at times, even music, because when I was recording song in a studio, at a certain point I said, well, keep this mic open, and I will just see what comes out. And literally songs come out of nowhere, like the words of like language, but also music that
Mhm.
has very often a kind of sense, or that is pleasant to hear. So that was the second phase, so to say. And then there was a third phase in 2021. So during COVID, during lockdown, here in the UK, we were allowed to actually walk in the park, or walk around on our own, 1 hour a day. So there's a beautiful park near my house, so I was going there every day. So I started to like get into photography and editing photography. For instance, even this is one of my
Yeah,
edits from
beautiful.
back there. And I started to get a bit more into visual art. And during another workshop, that time it was online, from the same lady, it was working with dragons this time. And at a certain point during a meditation, there was kind of an energy that was flowing into our hands, so that we could create more with our hands. So I started to actually draw, and I started to draw like codes too. And but at that time, I was drawing the codes, I was feeling the energy, but I might have understood that, oh, that's the blue rose from the Pleiadians, or that's a light code from the Syrians to do this, but not much information. Now when I channel a light code, it's like so much information. And even when I channel light language spoken or sung, after I kind of say, okay, this message is definitely about this. So it's coming even a little bit into my conscious mind. And I find that very, very fascinating. And if you want, I can actually show you one of the likers, and that is Archangel Michael. I don't know if you can see that, if I
Oh,
do this.
oh, let's see.
No.
Love that you did it. Darn, it looked, I mean, I got a little bit of a glimpse. It looks beautiful. Maybe you could post it in the
Yeah,
comments,
sure.
of it. Yeah.
Now I also have a page on the website with the like codes, and I'm creating also Pinterest that I need to actually link in the in my websites. And it went quite quick, this evolution, really. So
Mhm.
um and I look forward to see what next. I'm experimenting a lot around it. So for instance, this code I was about to show you, and another two codes, one from Lemurians and one from Syrians. I experimented around having them printed on a blanket, and just putting them on my bed during the night. And I feel at first I was like, wow, the energy is just too much. I can't sleep with them. So I will keep them for like a nap in during the day or meditation. And now I kept on working on raising my vibration, and now I definitely sleep with them. And I still feel the energy really this type. Where one of the blanket is about cleansing our inner waters, the
Mm,
other is about remembering Lemuria, and the Lemurians are inner knowledge from past lives. And this cut from Archangel Michael was really the crystalline art, so opening our hearts to the crystalline lights.
mm.
So yes.
Wow. Wow, it's yeah, interesting. Yeah, I'm kinda seeing everything that you're sharing, it's like how it's all, um, woven together. It just seems like quite the kaleidoscope of experience that you've had in your life.
Yes, because even if it started only with Archangel Michael's, then after, especially during lockdown, I was channeling a meditation each week for this group, this meditation group that was moved on Facebook during, of course, the lockdown because it
Mm,
was physically closed. And at that time, I started to connect with a lot more beings, and always very beings of great light and love. And as I'm still very linked and well, not attached, linked, with the religion and the angels, and connecting only with beings that are of the highest frequency and light. um I find myself really in very high dimensions. I'm working also with the dragons. I certified in both angelic reiki and the divine dragons energy healing method. And I'm using this very often. And I have to say that I had so many confirmations that this helps us open our hearts, which is basically the door to our own infinity in a way.
yeah. Wow. So, how do you when someone comes to you, how do you work with somebody? They bring to you their problems, and then how do you address them?
So I have now I put a little bit everything together. So I have three type of offer. The first one is a 21 days mindfulness challenge, and this was asked um me because a lot of people say, wow, your work is amazing, but we just don't get it yet, we don't understand, so how do we start? And I thought of having this really simple program that is like literally 3 minutes recording a day, giving a person a task. Like today, you will focus on the color orange. So if you have time to sit and focus on the color orange, it's good. If you don't, you can while you're waiting the bus, while you're washing your dishes or something. And my idea was really helping people, really the everyday people, anyone, to build that mindfulness routine every day. And especially I like to offer this program to family with children because it's so simple. They can really make it a game, make it,
Mm.
the practice of mindfulness together as a family. The second offer is self empowerment. It's actually the how I started my business. After studying coaching, I really wanted to go into self empowerment because precisely because I wanted people to see how amazing they are. And so that is a second 7 weeks, and it's really inspired by martial arts. Like finding starts with mindfulness, self discipline, and it can also be challenging because there's a week about, I'm a Wim Hof method practitioner, so I'm swimming in a mermaid tail all years long outdoors, so
Oh,
even in
wow.
like 5 degrees water. So
Amazing.
the one of the weeks of my program is like, well, try to challenge yourself, with cold showers or something, because after I know for sure that we feel like invincible. So it's the idea, wow, if I can do that, I can do anything. Of
Right.
course, it's not like mandatory if a person say, look, I really have a problem with the cold, I can't do that. I said, okay, let's find together something else that can make you feel like this. So this is the second offer. Then the third offer is really the light codes. And so far what I do is either in-person workshops, so it's really a big circle and I channel one code for the group and for one for each person, so it becomes like a meditation journey for everybody. So
Mhm.
it's really, that is really a fantastic energy. Then of course there are people who want, their personal light code as a personal session, one to one, so that can be done either in person or online. I've never done, like groups online, but I'm sure it can be done. Why not? Because the work on energy, it's it doesn't matter that the distance, the time. When we say, okay, we are in this space together, it happens. And even if people say I can't make it live, if when they listen to the replay, they're in the space in any case. So it's functioning anyway. So yeah, I like to do, because I used to want only things online because I like freedom and being able to work anywhere. But I see that it's also important now to actually anchor those light codes into the physical. Therefore, when it's possible, also have in person, so
Mhm.
that people can actually hold their light codes in their hands. And now I'm also offering like lacquers on bags, on t-shirts, whatever is physical and whatever they can actually integrate in their daily life. Because we're living in a world that can be very toxic and that is very dark.
Yeah.
It's for a reason, in the sense that we have downloads of energies and light on earth at the moment for this ascension process. And the light obviously will show us all the dark stuff we buried under the carpet. So it's at personal level, and it's of course at at the level, planetary level. So it can be very difficult to live in that situation. So I find that this type of work, the light codes, they really help with that, and they can be a help, very, even if a person doesn't have it physically, they can save it as, I don't know, the screen of their phone or something. And when they feel like depleted or anxious or whatever, they can have a look at it. And I found for myself that is very useful. And I have clients that are like, I don't know, I channeled like 3 or 4 codes for them. And it's interesting because each person has always kind of the same type of energy, so either the same type of colors or the same type of beings. um, a lot of people are very connected with dragons at the moment, others angels, other definitely galactic energies, other fairy energies. So it's interesting because there's a growth in that too. For instance, one of my clients, the first code I channeled for her was like a baby dragon, and a few months after, I channeled like a more motherly dragon. And I thought, wow, it's either the baby grown up or the mother of the baby, but that they are related.
Mm.
So it's very interesting work. And I'm always so impressed because, for instance, I had 2 confirmation. The first one, I channeled the code for a little girl I babysitted that is now 18. And at the time she was playing the guitar. And I thought, well, maybe it can be the flame of passion, something like that. So I just starting drawing things. And after a while, it looked like a guitar. After I put it into, the editing and all, I said, that's a guitar, you know. And the other one that was really, it was during one of my in-person group workshop. And I channeled something like it looked like the Egyptian scarab
Mm.
for a lady. And when she saw it, she said, wow, I just stopped at the crystal shop near the center, and I bought a little dragon, crystal dragon, a little statue, and it was perfectly shaped to be put at the center of the coach, the same color, the same shape. And we were, well, wow.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Fascinating. It's so fascinating, all these, the different dimensions that are working with us and,
Yes.
and this yeah, this evolutionary process that we're in, um, yeah, the light codes that are coming in, this upgrading in consciousness, you know, where there's so much happening. There's so much going on, and I could see where, you know, people working with you, how it can help to, you know, maybe stabilize or, um,
I
because it seems like there's, you know, the planet gets hit by these different frequencies, right? These ejections from the sun and these galactic streams of energy, whatever, and we get hit with it, and I know there's times where I'm just like, "Oh my god, I am, like, wiped out," and I think, "Oh, there's something wrong with me," but then I'll talk to my friend, she'll be like, "Oh my god, I'm so wiped out," you know?
Yes. And
And
a lot of people, and including me, I so need so much more sleep and rest. And I tell myself, well, I need so much time to do things, but I think personally that it's important to respect that. And what I feel is that in our sleep, we are doing some work.
yeah.
And at times I write down always, my dreams. But tonight I have a black belt in Shaolin Kung Fu, but I had this in Italy, so now I practice a little bit for myself, but not as much as before. And tonight I dreamt that my Kung Fu master had invited few students to do some special class. And I really remember, how I jumped and all, and I said, well, that's probably a work that has been done on me while I was sleeping. I
Mhm.
was like, and I think sleep, a lot of people kind of tend to think that sleep is just a waste of time. And I really think that we are we are tapping into some part of, either some part of ourselves, or we are working with different dimensions during our sleep. I really think so.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's true how, and it's interesting too how certain, like, even spiritual disciplines will traditional spiritual disciplines will say things like, "Oh, get up early," like this kind of
Yes.
rigidity around getting up really early and just go, 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 and, that was my experience when I lived in
So
an
I
ashram.
think that,
Was it they see it as tamasic is the word that they say, that it's like, "No, you need to be awake, 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 awake," and
yes,
I think,
yes, that's
yeah, I think
true. and
sometimes you
and
have to sleep.
at the beginning I know that it was a question also of living in harmony with nature. So when it's dark, you get to sleep, or you slow down, especially before electricity was a thing, of course.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
sun is up, so you need to be up. And I know some people are very spiritual and are doing that, but I think that it depends on the nature of people. Personally, I love the night. Well, before, maybe because, as an artist, I had to train myself to be at my best in the evening, for concerts or performances. But for me, the night is like, the open door to mystery and to peace. So I really like to work at night. So therefore, in the morning it's really hard for me to
Yeah,
to actually get up early.
yeah,
I'm doing it on occasion, but I'm really not an early bird. But yeah, that's definitely true, because a lot of spiritual mentors are like, you need um to get up early, to work hard, and self-discipline is important, but it really has to be kind of tempered with compassion, and especially now, because we are doing such a heavy work.
yeah,
So we are working hard anyway, and even when people don't realize it, they still receive that light, and they still have to face their darkness, and that takes a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And we are really, we are adapting to a planet that is rising her vibration so fast that it's really hard to keep up for us.
Yeah.
So
It
I think self compassion. I still have so much self discipline. Like I have my routine and all unwavering thing, um, but at the same time I say, okay, if I need to get up 1 hour late today, I'm doing it, because otherwise it's like it's very easy to get like completely depleted, I think.
yeah.
So we really need self-care at the moment.
Yeah, 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 there's a lot that we're contending with. It's, Patrice, this has been really beautiful. I really appreciate everything that you've been sharing with us. I feel your heart and your yeah, your dedication and your devotion to the light and the work that you do. Is there before we get off, is there anything more that you wanna say or share with the audience?
Well, maybe I can just channel a bit of light language and
Yeah,
see what comes
beautiful.
up, if you're
Absolutely.
okay.
Love that, yes.
Okay.
Mm.
Ma ai quinquian anuntat intia sununtia mantur anintar, sinta suntus intis untat, intian antantaria suntas inuntar, sunas intistantunt ai quintian anantump aiki, sunasina shantu suntunt intian, una si shataria sawana, inta sintas untara wa inta. Okay, I felt it was Syrian and Palladian's energy. Then the song was definitely something mermaidy from the Syrians. And I felt that it was like a very strong encouragement and blessing, and like saying,
Mm.
you know, you are strong, you can make it. And yes, there is also this connection and the idea that we're not alone, and that there is so much support we can get. So
Beautiful. I did feel that. I did feel that. Thank you so much.
thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. Um, yes, and for people that are watching, if you have any questions, you can find Patrice on Facebook. You have her website there, angelstarcoaching.com. You can post a comment with your questions. Please let us know if you're watching the replay. And yeah, much love to everyone. And thank you for watching. Thank you,
Thank
Patrice.
you.
All right. Bye, everybody.